The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
Folks, my partner's got a lot of good sayings that I've adapted and I use. And here's one of my favorites from Paul. If you want to put your $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 pickup on a barge, you go right ahead. I'm going to go around and find a bridge somewhere.
Where they use ropes and an outboard motor to move you across the largest river in Montana.
Yeah,
in the spring, mind it, April. April, folks, when there's snow melt and water rushing. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'll take the picture, put it on my Christmas card. I'm not driving my pickup on that thing, but thanks anyway. Oh, funny.
Boy, I better start snapping some pictures for my Christmas card. I've been taking many pictures this year, and I usually put 3 or 4 on my Christmas card every year. And
right. How many pictures you up to on your phone now? You are over 100?
Oh, yeah. I got like 115 now.
God, is that all you do?
Yeah. Let's see here. I make fun of Mark's steps. You might as well make fun of my pictures. Let's see here. There are 148 photos, and I have 38 videos.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, but I've only had my phone since 2017, so I haven't had a chance. Yep, 152, 148, 149, because those 2 were articles from yesterday. So let me trash that one, delete, trash that one, delete.
I could spend an afternoon going through and deleting photos of the stuff that I take pictures for the Facebook update every day, which is why I have 6,399 pictures on my phone.
How many?
6,399.
Well, Cotty can do it for you. I'm seeing a bunch of these here lately that I really don't need. Mm-hmm. So I got rid of about 6 there. So I'm down to about 130 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I had to take pictures of the articles yesterday. I took 2 of those. And,
right.
So.
Well, Farmer, keep this in mind. Next time that the jackpots are big and you buy lottery tickets, you can check those and get paid at the courtesy counter at Albertsons. I went in there yesterday, had a prescription ready, so got a slot you just slide them into and check, and you're looking at a guy who's got $4 more than he had yesterday morning.
You didn't let it ride?
Oh, no. I bought more.
Oh, yeah. I figured you would, yeah. They need to, see, folks, they need to update the prizes because they increased the cost of the Powerball ticket to $3, but those lower price tickets, they still are 2, 4, 10.
Right.
Why don't you make them in 3 is a magic number.
Yes, it is.
Because it's 3. Make it 3 or 9 or something like that, because that way you can buy the tickets with how much in correlation to what you win.
So put my tickets down on the counter, and the guy goes, "Okay, here's 2 off one ticket and 2 off another. I want to buy some Powerball tickets." And then he started speaking in a different language. Well, do you want the multiplier and blah blah blah? I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Here's $24. That's all I know.
It's a magic number. Boy. You know, Mark played some Conway Twitty today. For a lot of you out there that don't know it, well, Conway Twitty put Beyonce to shame.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a rock and roller.
He was making the rock and roll movies before Elvis.
No, I wanted to say a bad word there. No kidding. See, folks,
real name Harold Jenkins took his stage name from Conway, Arkansas, and Twitty, Texas.
So all you people that say Beyonce doesn't belong here, what Conway did, put her to shame. Oh, Conway, I mean,
one of the biggest staples of country radio in the 70s and early 80s.
Big staple in rock and roll first,
yeah.
And then I'm switching country.
We used to get the little 45 records mailed to us, not knowing what was coming. And I still remember sitting there with my dad when we opened the new song from Conway Twitty was The Rose. And I said, not The Rose like the one from the movie The Rose with Bette Midler. It was, but it was a hit for him.
Folks, I got to tell you, that's one thing I never did with my dad. Sat there and wait for 45s to come to the house so we could open them together and
fond memories. Worked with the old man. Still happy about it.
Yeah. And then Mark played some Confederate Railroad. And what was the guy's name? Danny Shirley?
Yeah. God, you and your music stuff, you don't forget anything.
I know. Well, the reason I don't forget is because he's a member of the 189th Redneck Battalion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we met them when they were playing the Shrine about the time we were doing that.
Yeah, we had kicked it off, and it had been about a week or two in, about a month after 9/11, and they thought that was the coolest dang thing, and we gave him Redneck Battalion hat. In fact, he wore it up on stage during his concert. Thought it was great. We were also talking today about Tom T. Hall's song and mentioning Barbara Walters, and there's probably half the nation's population now doesn't even know who Barbara Walters is.
No.
Time flies. She's gone.
Well, folks, some good news. Whenever they're building something in town, I like when they'll always put up which bank is financing it. And I like when they put up a picture, coming soon, Joe's Donuts or whatever it's going to be. And they tore down the old Johnny Carino's restaurant out there in King, which was by Denny Menholt. And that's going to be another car wash.
All right. Good.
I was going to tell you, I was right behind you at the car wash yesterday. And so the 2 tubes with the 10 openings as spray bubbles, those all worked yesterday. So, but something changed on where they dry. Because remember when we started going there, the dryer would always blow the door to my gas tank open, and it hasn't done that in over a year. But they're going to have that new one in the Heights done pretty soon. We're going to try that one.
That's right. If it's good, we're switching.
Think back to good old days when that car wash, the Skyview car wash, they call it now, right behind the Quickway on Wicks. You could get that thing going for $2 and quarters. And if you're like Paul and I, you can wash an entire pickup, even if it's pretty bad, for $2.
Yeah.
And then the one, if you got gas at the Blue Basket, I think that was a $6 or $7 car wash.
Hell, I might go back to Don's.
Yeah.
Because at the time, Don's didn't have the monthly pass thing.
Right. Didn't need it.
And, you drive up to the window there. Because Mark and I, if we're in the right lane in the Heights.
You got to be in the right lane.
You got to be in the right lane. We used to whip in there, and you go up to the window, and you pick your wash, and you pay. But now they got the monthly thing. So I may have to. And they're good at all of them around town. So no matter where you're at around town.
That's right.
You can whip into a Don's.
Now, the one in the Heights is touchless. I wonder if they still have the guys drying your car in the one on Grand there.
A lot of our old dates were touchless, weren't they, Mark?
Yes, they were.
Can we go to the all-you-can-eat thing? And
what are you doing? It's not your birthday.
Yeah.
Well, and that pass thing. How great does that work? You get signed up, and just like you and me, we're not really happy with the service and the job they do, but it's just a hassle to stop and cancel. And change.
I know it. You got to go in and talk to some person, and they just automatically charge. It's like a Sirius radio thing. So
I remember when they first opened, it'd been a bad stretch of winter, and you couldn't really wash your car for a couple weeks, so they had a nice weekend. And the gal told me they washed 1,400 cars on Saturday and 1,600 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And you think about that at even the low end, $25 a month.
Yeah, they don't do that now, probably, but
Oh, Kelly says you can get a lottery app and check them that way. I did not know that.
I believe it. The one car wash that does a good job. When I bring my old hot rod into town, I use it. The one up there just south of the Play-In in the Heights.
Yeah.
If you go to the automatic one.
Oh, you're right. That is a good one.
That's a good car wash, but it takes longer. If you get the full wash, I mean, you might as well pack a lunch.
Yeah.
You're sitting in there for 8 to 10 minutes while it does your car.
Yeah, the mint is, and I timed it, from the time my front tires hit their sidewalk till they come back around and hit the sidewalk again, it is 5 minutes.
Now, the Rocket Car Wash in Idaho. Now, that is a car wash. I drive 9 hours just to go to that car wash over there in Boise. Love that car wash. My favorite car wash of all time is a Rocket Car Wash. If you're ever over there, go through the Rocket Car Wash, folks. I wrote a very interesting article about that one time, car washes.
Oh, yes, they hand dry on Grand. Got my car washed yesterday.
You did?
No, this got a message.
Oh, so
you come out of there, turn right, hit Taco John's, sit in the lobby where there's never more than one table. And
God Wilson, your whole day's planned. Then go home and sleep my ass off. That's what I'm going to do, folks. That's my day.
It's good to be Mark.
Yes, it is. Was Wilson West at Wednesday yesterday? Bacon, cheddar, potato, or whatever.
Did you see the picture of the bowl?
No.
Bread bowl, I got to show you this. Check out the pepper on that bad boy.
Did you put that on? Did they bring you 3 shakers?
No.
Oh, my God, Wilson.
It was really good.
Good Lord. Looks like the top of an Oreo cake on there. Man.
Well, Kim Stark sent a message. She has 78,000 photos on her phone.
Kim, you and I have to talk.
What? Cows and grandkids? You got to have pictures.
You have a real problem there. 78,000. I wrote an article on that once, too. Folks, you know what I have not written an article about? I even wrote an article about writing articles.
Yeah.
I wrote one yesterday, and I was looking at it this morning, and the one woman kind of ripped me, which is fair. That's what happens. And Rosa, if you're listening, because I wrote about what a lot of these liberals have done to our major cities and the treatment of policemen. And the reason that policeman is dead in New York City, and they're going to bury him this weekend, is because of what these liberal judges and things have done to our judicial system. Labeled cops as racist. Those two folks that were in that car that shot and killed that policeman in New York, between them, they had 35 felonies. 35. One had 21, and they shot and killed him. Judges let him out. They let him out. And we've got these shoplifting policies that liberal Democrats have made. It's not worth going after somebody if they steal $900 worth of merchandise or less. So let them go.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm a liberal and I support our policemen and first responders and everything. And I love them. And she goes, I still love you guys. And that's great. But you have to remember, Rosa, these people that you vote for are the ones that are ruining it. Mm-hmm. So you have to know what kind of weight your vote carries. Now, in her defense, I would venture to say that she is like a lot of my older Democrat friends that I have, and I have a lot of them that are very, very conservative people and love their country, and their party has left them.
I agree.
The new progressive, liberal, woke Democrat Party does not represent the same value and standards and morals that people like Rosa, who blasted me, have.
Right.
That's the extreme part of that party that is trying to change America. I'll bet Rosa doesn't believe you should cut the ding-a-ling off of a 7-year-old boy.
I would agree.
I'll bet she would like strong enforced borders as well. I'll bet she's even for enforcing our voting standards and rules and regulations. I'll bet she's for that too. And she's a Democrat. But she took a shot, and I get it. But those people aren't representing you. They're not representing you. The new wing, well, folks, yesterday, Joe Lieberman died. Joe Lieberman left the Democratic Party, left them years ago when he became independent, was Al Gore's running mate. Joe Lieberman said, when he left, he said, I love my party, but I love my country more. And he left. Even folks, 2 weeks ago, before he died, 2 weeks ago, Joe Lieberman ripped Chuck Schumer a new one. Ripped him for taking the side of Hamas, going against Israel and their fight against terrorism and this terrorist organization. I mean, he laid into Schumer. Big time. Should have. Never, he said, in his day would he have ever, or you would not have heard a Democrat or Senate leader go against our strongest ally in the fight against terrorism. But Schumer did. Why? Why, folks? You know why? Hey, Rosa, I'll tell you why. Because he's trying to win back your part of your party who are the extremists who support what Hamas is doing against Israel. The anti-Semitic part of your party, the 100,000+ people in Michigan that didn't vote for Joe Biden, that voted absent because they're mad. Those people aren't the same as you, Rosa. And you can vote whoever you want to. That's what's great about America. But you have nobody at this point in time representing your ideology in your party. These people are the extreme part of your party. Yeah, Lieberman left, supported John McCain when he ran for the ticket in 2008. One of the best guy. Lieberman generated controversy in 1998 when he scolded President Bill Clinton, who was his friend for many years, of disgraceful behavior in an explosive speech on the Senate floor. How could, folks, this is what's wrong with America. How could ripping a president who has sex in the Oval Office with an intern, how could that be controversy?
Not.
See what AP does here, folks? I'll bet Rosa didn't think that was controversy either. Rosa, I'll bet you didn't. Harry Reid, who was also awful for this country, said he never doubted Lieberman's principles and patriotism. But once he crossed party lines and left the Democrat and became an independent, he's like garbage you throw out to the Democrats.
Yeah.
Folks, they have party first no matter what. Look what Schumer's doing. Party ahead of country. Party ahead of the hostages. Party ahead of terrorism. Party first. They're salvaging votes. That's what he's doing. And he died at 82. His health wasn't bad, but he had a fall. He fell, and he died from complications from his fall, which is bad. Talked about President Obama to the Senate, said Obama was a member that never reached across party lines to accomplish anything significant when he was in the Senate, and he never did. He said eloquence is no substitute for record. I mean, he had some great lines. Senate Democrats decided not to punish Joe Lieberman when he became independent and for supporting McCain. Punish. That's what they do. That's what they do. Party first, man. You leave, we will make your... Why do you think John Tester, folks, votes the way he votes? Mm-hmm. He's not voting the way Montana votes. Look, Montana went 68% Trump.
Right.
We have Republican representatives, and I'm not saying they do great jobs either, but it's a reflection of the ideology and the morals and standards that people in Montana embrace. And Tester doesn't embrace those. But when Democrats decide not to punish a guy based on how he votes or supports,
join us at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill for unforgettable weekly entertainment. Every Friday night, come hungry and savor their delicious prime rib dinner. Wednesday at the Blue Cat are Wilson Wednesdays, dedicated to esteemed regular Mark Wilson. Also enjoy steak night every Wednesday. And for you music lovers, head to the Blue Cat for karaoke night. Join in the fun at the Roadside Event Center right next door for a bingo session or two. Don't miss out on all the fun at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill at 139 Northern Avenue in Huntley.
that's why Jon Tester does it the way he does it.
Yeah.
Chuck has got him, folks, around the nuts. Democrats even wanted to censor Joe Lieberman because he bailed from their party. This is what they do. I'm reading this is an AP story. I'm reading this right here. From the AP story. He was hawkish on foreign policy. He was pro-defense, very strong when it comes to environmental causes. See, he was independent, folks. After 9/11, he said we have to out Saddam Hussein and take care of the people that did this. That's why it's so disturbing to him that Israel was blatantly attacked by this terrorist organization, and they're doing the dirty work of the world, folks, and Schumer's blasting Israel and starting this alliance in D.C., this anti-Israel, anti-Benjamin Netanyahu, calling for leadership changes when we should be supporting them and sending them all the military hardware and equipment they need to eliminate terrorism, and we're not. Father ran a liquor store in Connecticut, graduated from Yale University. Funeral will be Friday. They got 4 children and died at 82 from a fall. So, but it's important who you vote for, folks, and you have to look. You got to answer. Why, Rosa? The border problem isn't because of conservative Republicans in this country.
No.
The melee in our cities, the big cities, run by the... Look at Billings, Rosa. Do you think... I'll bet she would support handing out American flags to people at our parade.
Yeah, well, I bet she would.
I know she would. I can tell by what she wrote. She's not one of the new woke progressive people. She wouldn't want to see her grandson have his ding-a-ling cut off.
No.
I know she is. And so it's important who you vote for. Let me give you an example. Headline today, folks, in the front of the Billings Gazette. 4 election laws that were passed by our Montana legislature. And folks, legislatures are the only ones who can make election rules.
Right.
Constitution of the United States says that, and we saw what happened during the last election when people like Governor Bullock and others that you vote for just changed them. We decided we're going to do all mail out balloting this election. Well, you can't do that. Secretary of State's, well, we're going to stop in Missoula. We're going to stop counting the votes now. Well, why? Well, it's midnight. I feel my people have been here long enough. Mm-hmm. So we're going to stop. And then all of a sudden, things and momentums changed the next morning. I'm not saying, but I am saying. 4 election laws quashed by whom, folks? The Montana Supreme Court. And you vote for these people. Struck down 4 that would have, and Victoria, it wouldn't have changed the way Montanans vote. It would have enforced the way that Montanans vote. So,
right.
You tricky witch. You see how they do this?
Oh, yeah.
Senate Bill 169, 176, House Bill 530, 506, they all passed during the 2021 legislature, but they were challenged by multiple tribes, Montana Youth Action, and the state Democratic Party. Democratic Party challenges. The bills wanted to do this. They wanted to add some new voter identification restrictions on Election Day, or voter identification restrictions. All right? They wanted to end Election Day voter registration, which, folks, the last time we voted for a president was 4 years ago. You've had almost 4 years to get registered to vote. Nope, we want to do it on the day of. Mm-hmm. Okay? So it would have ended voter registration that day. Well, why? Now ask yourself, who does the advantage go for with all of these rules, Rosa? What party? You know what party. That's why they were passed. And the Democrat Supreme Court justices know that. Now, the legislature has the right to change these rules. It would limit paid third-party ballot collection. Paid third-party ballot collection, folks. In other words, there's people that can run around, register you to vote that day, and have you fill out the ballot, tell you about the candidates if they want, and say, I'll take it and I'll drop it off. We wanted to eliminate that. The Democrat just said, no, we're not eliminating that. See, who does this advantage go to? And there was also a law that would prevent 17-year-olds from voting if their 18th birthday fell on election day. Well, and that goes to the voter day registration thing. All of them were struck down by these liberal judges under Montana's constitutional fundamental right to vote.
Join us at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill for unforgettable weekly entertainment. Every Friday night, come hungry and savor their delicious prime rib dinner. Wednesday at the Blue Cat are Wilson Wednesdays, dedicated to esteemed regular Mark Wilson. Also enjoy steak night every Wednesday. And for you music lovers, head to the Blue Cat for karaoke night. Join in the fun at the Roadside Event Center right next door for a bingo session or two. Don't miss out on all the fun at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill at 139 Northern Avenue in Huntley.
Nobody has taken their right to vote away.
No.
You just have to do it by law.
Right.
We don't take the fundamental right of driving away, do we, folks? But what do you have to be? You have to be a certain age.
Yeah.
You have to have a driver's license and have had to pass the test to do it. Right?
Yeah.
So we have rules for voting. No, we're taking all those out. Alex Raitt, who is a deputy moron with the ACLU, said this was an all-out vindication of the right to vote. Nobody took their right to vote away.
No, you can still vote.
Just like you have the right to own a gun, you have a right to drive a car, but we have rules to do it. Secretary of State was devastated by this decision, trying to commit to election integrity, and the court won't let him do it. You could have registered to vote all the way up until noon the day before the election, folks. No, we want you to be able to come in on election day, register and do it. Not only that, we want people to be able to get you to your home, collect your ballot, take it with them, drop it off. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Especially if they, well, and this is what our court does. And to whose advantages are all those rules, folks? Well, whose advantages are all the other ones? No one's advantage. Everybody has to comply by the same rule. Chief Justice Mike McGrath. Eliminating election day registration interferes with the fundamental right to vote. Not one bit. It doesn't interfere one bit. You have 1,000 days to register to vote, at least before the next election. Nope. Folks, you need reservations to get into restaurants. You decide to walk up, you're in big trouble.
Right.
No, that's why we have to vote to get rid of these people ruining the system. Or they'll rig the system, like Chuck Schumer just did against Netanyahu and others, to try to get those tens of thousands of votes all back for Joe that are taking an anti-Israel stance in their fight against terrorism. The bill tried to remove student IDs from the acceptable form of ID to vote. Excluding a student ID from the list of acceptable photo IDs imposes a burden on student voting, according to McGrath. Well, they got the right ID when they buy booze when they're at college. How come? And that doesn't inhibit them from doing it unless it's fake, right? He is something else. But this is what we're up against. Party first, country second, and that's why Joe Lieberman left them. Along with McGrath, there was Gustafson, Lori McKinnon, and James Jeremiah Shea. They were all with McGrath. So there you go, folks. So now we're back to melee again on election day with these things all. You can register, you can be 17. You don't have to have a valid ID, actually. Anything will work. It's crazy. If it doesn't work to their advantage, it would have never been ruled that way.
You're exactly right.
It would have never been ruled on that way. And they know that. Party first. And Rose, I know you're not a party first person. You want what's right, but your party has left you. Building a big Amazon warehouse in Missoula. Good. They're going to need the jobs up there because the liberal part of America just shut down the mill up there that made particle board and stuff like that.
170 employees. Well, they don't have to worry. John Tester is working with officials to to help them out.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, that's an environmental impact, and you're going to lose on that one because that's a... Oh, and by the way, it's only certain things that affect the environment. For instance, when that ship wrecked earlier in the week, the container ship took out the Francis Scott Key Bridge. It had hazardous waste on board. I watched some of the news conference last night with the NTSB investigating, and a lot of the hazardous waste that on board were the lithium-ion batteries they use in electric cars. Folks, now that hazardous waste is okay for Democrats.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
That hazardous waste is okay, but the other stuff isn't. Well, that's okay. That hazardous waste is good hazardous waste because that's going to go into electric vehicle. But the other hazardous waste we don't like. So they're in the bottom of the river somewhere. I thought what was interesting last night in that news conference is they talked about the construction of the bridge. There's over 61,000 bridges in America. And this bridge was built a certain way, which means if one part of the structural integrity of the bridge is jeopardized, the whole bridge will fall into the water. Mm-hmm. And there's quite a few thousand of those that are built that way in America. That's the old way. The bridge was 50 years old. Manufacturers, shippers are scrambling to figure out where they can unload their cargo now. I listened to all the doom and gloom. Oh, no, prices are going to go up. America, we're going to be short on goods, blah, 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 this and that. Folks, they'll find another port. They'll find another port up and down the East Coast or anywhere else. You know, what these people, do you not have faith in America's resolve anymore? We can work around these problems. We built the Empire State Building in 1 year. Mm-hmm. All right? Get out of their way and they'll get the bridge up and running and they'll clear the channel and get the ships moving. If you get the hell out of their way and let people look at the railroad up there on when it crossed the Yellowstone River, mm-hmm. They were messing around up there for weeks, and the railroad could have had all those cars out of the river and had the bridge up and running. So we finally got government out of the way, said, okay, we'll let you do it now. And within like 10 days, the railroad had the bridge fixed and freight was moving.
Right.
Government. So anyway, folks, you know, there's ports all over the East Coast. We have this thing called trucks and interstates. Mm-hmm. They can move them to a different port. Will they be backlogged a little bit? Yeah. But don't worry. You people are going to get your hot chocolate and stuff, okay? We can handle that. We should be able to handle it. So they have to figure out where they can unload their cargo. All right, figure it out. We can get it done. We were building 11,000 tanks a month during World War II at our peak. 11,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Just tanks.
And that's back before computer technology and everything else.
We can get it done. They can get that stuff. They can get a couple salvage ships in there with cranes, and they can have those bridge spans out of the water in no time and open up the shipping channel.
No, you're right.
If they let them do it, get the hell out of the way and let them do it. They can get it open. It's not going to shut down the country. 30,000 cars a day use the bridge. That's 10,000 less than use the Billings Heights. That is the 11th busiest port in the nation as far as cargo goes. Okay, the port handles large amount of wood, steel, aluminum, and home appliances and furniture, coming, of course, from foreign countries. Natural gas goes out of there. 20% of United States coal exports pass through that port. Well, they're going to have to find a different port. 2.8% of all the container volume shipped through the East Coast ports go through that. 2.8%. You know, the big containers that you saw stacked on this ship. Right. So, folks, that means that 97.2% of all the other containers go through different ports, but that one will be fine. Logistics have to change. Last year, 440,000 passengers boarded cruise ships at that port. Well, guess what? You have to board at a different port now.
It's simple.
Until they just get the downed bridge spans out. If I'm Joe Biden, I'm saying, okay, give me the Army Corps of Engineers. I want them in my office tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Now, I know he doesn't get up till about 10. I want him here at 6. And when you come tomorrow morning, I want you to have a plan on how we get those bridge spans out of the water and cleared. And I want it done in 10 days. Mm-hmm. Good night. Okay.
It should be that simple.
Okay. That opens up the ports. There are ports just within a couple hundred miles of there. There are ports in Philly, Wilmington, Newark, New Jersey, Norfolk, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Georgia. All up and down the coast we have ports. The Georgia Ports Authority, that has ports in Savannah and Brunswick, Georgia, said yesterday we have the capacity to take on more cargo.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, I want all you people in my office at 6 a.m.
If Trump was president, that's how it would be.
Not 6:30, not 10:30 when I get up, 6 a.m. And I want a plan. Finding the substitute ports could minimize any price adjustments for coal and vehicles. Could add a smidge to the shipping cost as delays spill into other goods. Delays on what? Until they get that fallen bridge span out of the water. They did rescue 4 men yesterday. The circumstances are different in this bridge collapse than other because the bridge collapsed into the water. Clearing the channel for ships likely will take far longer than 4 days like some of the other ones. All right. Like I said, if it takes 10, it takes 10. Get it cleared. Folks, we can do that in this country.
Yeah.
We can do it. Sure as hell can. The stuff that we've built, the stuff that we've accomplished, we know how to do it. Get the flippin' government out of the way, and then America wins. We can get it cleared, open up the channel, the deepest part there of the channel where the highest span of the bridge was to where the ships go through, and we open it up. Commerce resumes, shipping resumes, and we start working then on the bridge.
Right.
So don't listen to all this crap you hear from these people that just want to create melee controversy. We need a bunch of doers. We need some doers back there. Rose, I bet you're a doer. Tell them get out of the way and let these people who know what they're doing get to work. So, and we got to get to work. We got rodeo tickets today again for the PBR. So we can do that again today. That event's coming up. And we got a chance of rain today.
Really?
50%. So,
God, I sleep great when it's raining.
Mark, you sleep great as long as you're breathing.
Slept great last night. First news coming up, 6:15.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.